Here we are. The COS.io Corporation office building. It looks like most of the businesses on this block are a part of the same corporate coalition under COS.io.
Is that
well,
important?
Perhaps. At the very least, it means it's unlikely they're the ones interfering with Augmented Eye's articles. Not impossible, but unlikely.
I just hope we don't run into a certain someone. Like, there's someone I want to run into, and there's someone I do not want to deal with. How so?
Generally, the companies in a coalition don't have a whole lot of overlap. Augmented Eye is a news app focused on local tech and culture stories, with an emphasis on hybrids' rights and cybernetics issues. None of the other companies in the coalition cover news, so they aren't related at all, which is very much standard practice for these groups. They have nothing to gain by inviting companies with whom they compete, and thus none of them would benefit by trying to undermine Augmented Eye's credibility as a news source.
Can you tell me more?
In the early 2020s, the California government was pretty much going bankrupt.
Early 2020s, oh dear. Did this game predict COVID? I mean, this game came out 2015, right?
A poor national economy and repeated voter initiatives meant the state didn't have the tax revenue to continue running municipal services. They kept pushing the tax burden down the totem pole until poorer cities were just flat broke. No police, no road work, complete public service collapse. Then, one of the smaller cities sold all of their public infrastructure, police and fire included, to a private corporation. This was eventually challenged in court, but several Silicon Valley corporations started a grassroots initiative to have citizens pass an amendment to the state constitution allowing it. They succeeded, and most of the major cities in the state sold off their public services to private corporations. Some places, like Los Angeles, just sold to the highest bidder. Which is probably why LA is essentially in a constant gang turf war, with one side wearing the uniforms of the studio-owned police forces.
Listening.
The cities in the Bay Area were a little more selective, and most of the municipal services are owned by multi-corporation coalitions. They split the bill of running the city between them and keep each other from being too corrupt in their usage of the police force and such, from fear of a PR disaster and being kicked out of the coalition. It means there isn't as much money going around, which is why the NSFPD's equipment is out of date and the meshnet is so successful over normal cable networks. After all, without the promise of a city infrastructure bought and paid for, the corporations all treat running the city like a charity and PR stunt. But at least the police aren't irredeemably corrupt. The fire trucks still show up on time, and the water runs to all parts of the city. That can't be said for some areas of the state.
I hadn't realized things were that bad elsewhere. Why hasn't the federal government stepped in?
I haven't spent enough time learning about the subject, or politics in general, to give you an educated answer.
I think the nearest answer I've got can be summed up in an MT3K meme. You know the one I'm talking about.
If I go by the posts people make on the meshnet, I'd say a combination of having bigger fish to fry and caving to corporate pressure. People seem certain that the larger multinational companies would love to be able to buy their own towns on a national scale, and are pumping money into Congress to try and make that happen. They hold up Neo-SF as an example of their success, while trying to bury the problems in LA as an anomaly. Combine that with unrest abroad, and I guess they don't have a whole lot of motivation to try and stop it. Historical precedent seems to lend credence to this interpretation, if you're willing to believe my hasty readings on the subject.
Fair enough. Thanks for filling me in.
You're welcome. I am happy to assist.
I kind of missed half of that because I'm checking the stats of the stream at the same time, and it seems to be a steady improvement. But again, we're going into this because I've got a feeling.
The MeshNet says Augmented Eye's SF office is run by an individual named Zin, and Tomcat confirmed she's expecting us. All we have to do now is head up and talk to her. No shenanigans this time.
You seem almost disappointed. Hey there, Zin.
Oh, hello. Welcome to Augmented Eye.
Please tell me a certain person doesn't work here.
You must be the journalist my network admin said would be showing up. Have a seat. Would you like a drink?
Water would be nice.
My assistant will bring it right away. Look, I'll start off by saying I'm a little uncomfortable about bringing in another journalist to look into this. Whatever you dig up, I'll have to explain to the rest of the press. But it's still better than the other options. Chances are I have another corporation scoping out my territory. If they aren't in the coalition, they'll be expecting a corporate spy, not a news hound. If they are in the coalition, it won't look good for me to send in my own reporters against my allies. Even if I do end up being right. So if I'm damned either way, I'd rather it be by the media. At least then we can fight back on a familiar battlefield. Now, what do you know about our problem here?
Someone is tampering with your articles on Mesh?
That's the long and short of it. My network admin is pulling their hair out over it. I'm not going to pretend I understand everything they say, but from what I understand, the changes to our articles aren't being made from inside our network. The versions on our servers are still the originals, but at some point after they hit the mesh, they get changed. I'm hoping that you can do some digging, maybe hit up your contacts and get a lead on who might be doing it. Even if I have to get answers from the nightly news, it will be a big help.
What kind of changes are being made?
Mostly little things. Word choice, tone of the writing, things that make the writer appear more or less extreme on a topic. So far, almost all of the edits seem to be making our articles more positive on new technologies coming out, and more critical of organizations like the Human Revolution. That's actually what tipped us off. A harsh criticism one of my writers made about the Human Revolution protests was changed to be downright vitriolic, and I had a hell of a time putting out the fires. My writers and readers aren't exactly fans of them, but I'd rather not pick fights with the Human Revolution if I don't have to.
Personally, this hacker sounds like my kind of person. I'm just waiting to see if it is who I think it is. Are you so sure it isn't an inside job?
I guess I'm not, but my network admin assures me it's all coming from somewhere else. They told me that they tore out all of the routers that broadcast to the mesh and replaced them with fresh ones. All kinds of tricks involving IP addresses and DNS changes that I'm not going to even begin to claim to understand. I pay them big bucks, So I'm inclined to believe them, unless you dig up something that tells me otherwise.
Yeah, any idea where I should start looking?
Not really. My admin says that only someone with intimate access to Parallax's network protocols could make these kind of changes as something passes across the net. Personally, I think it's a clever hacker rather than someone inside Parallax itself.
Oh, I'm thinking so too.
The public trust rating of Parallax makes them look like a saint among wolves, so their control over the mesh network provisions is strangling. It's trivially easy to set up ROMs to use a different OS than LIPS or a different meshnet protocol without that trust. Or, you know, Parallax is abusing its power to spread pro-tech propaganda. Doubtful they need to. I'm sure you'll be a good journo and bring me back the right answer.
I'm still expecting it to be a certain someone. Okay, that's a start.
I know tin hat conspiracies aren't an ideal start, but it's the best we can do with the info we have. Anything else I can tell you, off the record? If you want it on the record, it'll cost you your firstborn and a really good cigar.
I got a mechanical body. I can't have a firstborn. Biologically, anyway. Can you think of a reason why you're being targeted?
Like what? There isn't much more I can tell you about Augmented Eye, really. It's a fairly simple and straightforward operation, if I say so myself. We started off in Venezuela as a sleek current events and news organization in 2055, almost 10 years ago now. We focus on more in-depth reporting of on-the-street happenings, on top of major news. We're one of the few good ones left. Once folks in other cities saw the type of reporting we do, they all clamored for it. They invested in the right places, and it paid off. COS-IO Corp is happy to have us here in the OSF. It wasn't until hybrid tech started hitting the public sphere that we had to make any changes to our model. All of that said, I can't see why anyone would target us. Unless they're just trying to embroil us in a mudslinging match with the human revolution, and there are much more direct ways of making that happen.
Know if anyone has articles being manipulated?
Alright, look. I wasn't going to tell you this. If it gets out, I'd have to answer some really hard questions. So, you didn't hear this from me. You might want to go check out TMI Entertainment and Charlie Nova. That's all I'll say. And remember, you take a bite out of him with my name as your defense, I drop you fast.
What's the real reason you're bringing in outside help? Your own journalist should be able to handle digging up some dirt on a hacker.
What? Not wanting to answer prying questions from my coalition board isn't a good enough reason? 'Cause I'd really like to avoid that.
I know one of the people who runs a different branch of your company, your station, and I do not have a good opinion of them.
And look, you've covered culture wars, right? My journalists are good, but they're mostly good at gadget reviews, implant releases, not taking too many stims so they remember what they did at raves for the after-party reports. This needs an investigative journalist with serious contacts, not tech personalities. The fact that my network admin recommended you to me means you probably know the right people. Now, does that cover it? I'd like to remove my nose from your ass.
That's it for now. I'll be back to you if I have more questions.
No, don't bother. In hindsight, I probably should have been a bit more circumspect about speaking to you. Plausible deniability and all that. I won't ask you to lie in anything you write, but do remember you got in contact with me not even second-hand, but third-hand. I certainly didn't sick you on anyone. Wink wink, nudge nudge, or whatever. If you need anything else, have your person get with my person. Don't come here directly.
I don't have a person. He doesn't.
Now, I'd show you the door, but you know the way. And this isn't the only fire I'm trying to put out.
Like, I barely can afford to fix the sink in my apartment.
Good luck, and goodbye.
Well, that was more confrontational than I'd have expected, considering she was the one needing help. She never brought you that water, either. Is it always like this?
He knows the game, but we didn't walk away with nothing.
Very true. I will admit that I am interested in the possibility of a link back to Parallax. If all of this really is due to somebody manipulating the mesh net on the inside, it may give us the leverage we need to find out what happened to Hayden once and for all. That said, I will take care not to get my hopes up. We should make no assumptions when investigating, lest we lead ourselves down a false path. Anyway, seems like our next step is... What the...
Get away. What? What?
What the... That's in!
What? We need to go help her.
It's too late. Considering the angle and height of the fall, rendering suitable aid is beyond our capabilities now. Your desire is laudable, but emergency services are already on the way. They will assist her as much as they can. We should head back to her office and see if we can determine what happened here. Perhaps we can still dispense justice. It looks like the desk has been cleared off.
And the robot broke.
Let's take a look around, but be careful not to disturb any evidence. The police will be here soon. Even a ROM like that doesn't deserve an end like this.
Apparently they weren't a fan of rabbits.
Her personal computer is not password protected at the moment. Give me a moment to look through her files. Best to keep your fingerprints off of the keyboard.
Good idea.
Most of this isn't very interesting. Committee reports, financials, article submissions. Oh, here we go. According to this email between Zin and her network admin, her lead on TMI Entertainment is a little more solid than she led us to believe.
Interesting.
The admin ran a web crawler looking for changes in writing styles. Some blog posts by their head anchor Charlie Nova stood out like a sore thumb. Apparently he's a bit pompous, if in an affable way, and his blog usually just details his day-to-day life. But ever since the human revolution has been in town, he's been smearing them with more venom than you'd expect, considering how neutral his on-air reporting has been.
Charlie Nova, didn't we hear that name before?
Zin seemed to think he was just complaining about the protesters fouling up traffic, and whoever is manipulating these posts spun it to make him look critical of the movement as a whole. Just like the Augmented Eye journalist.
Call me crazy, I think this may have a connection to the case we're working on.
This Charlie fellow is the one we need to talk to. We can't leave without finding a clue. Let's continue looking around, but be careful not to disturb any evidence.
Hey, a motivational poster or in a crime scene. Now it's ironic. There's multiple monitors streaming news and info from the Augmented Eye sister sites all around the globe. Picture of a toupee is an odd thing to frame. Oh wait, that's an animal of some kind. Is that a game system? Here you are, peeking at video games after you've been told repeatedly to get what you need and hurry out of this place. You ignore the murder evidence and thumb through the cartridges. Wait, an unopened duck game!
This game gives me the urge to start quacking uncontrollably. Is something wrong with me?
Oh, that's a duck game thing. Flawless foliage has fallen. The desk is probably out of your price range.
My thermal sensors only detect a single set of lingering footprints, and they end almost 3 feet away from the window. Considering the density of this glass, I can't imagine Zin jumped from that far and managed to throw herself through the pane without help.
Not unless she did it on a daily basis, which is doubtful.
But who could have done it? I don't see any obvious marks on the floor or any other thermal hotspots.
Saying no one else was in here?
It doesn't look like it. We should go. There isn't anything else here, and the police are almost on the scene.
Son of a...
He didn't do it!
I should have figured the two of you would be here. You just won't stay out of trouble no matter what I say, will you?
This is a total misunderstanding.
I assure you, Detective Rivers, we are merely in the wrong place at the wrong time. We had an appointment with Zin to discuss a possible lead and found her office in this state of disrepair.
Not exactly true, but not exactly wrong either.
Of course you did. Damn it. Fine, fine. Get the hell out of here before anyone else shows up. We'll chat about the case more when I'm not busy scraping bodies off the pavement. You hear me?
Certainly, Detective Rivers. I'll forward you a report of what we know immediately, and we can speak further at a later time.
Yeah, whatever. Get moving.
Moving.
Ooh.
Why did you lie? We could have told her about the articles.
Because it's better this way. We are chasing smoke trails. You think she would assist such an unlikely investigation? I do not need you to infer upon my motivations or highlight my duplicity. Detective Rivers has every bit of information that Zin gave us on that computer. Her investigation will not be hampered by our absence, whereas ours is halted if we're stuck giving answers she can just as well get from a hard drive.
Fair enough.
Literally. Has it occurred to you that whoever threw Zin out of that window could be after the same thing we are, except to silence the story rather than to get it out.
Oh, definitely.
We have little time for fooling about and must get to Charlie Nova before something happens to him too.
Yeah, fair.
Now, unless you have further recriminations to level at me, we must not squander the time my dishonesty bought us. I have highlighted the main Neo SF offices for TMI Entertainment on your map.
My entertainment.
Let's go!
Yeah, we still got time. Oh, the other path that's seems to be close to us, at least for the time being.
I hope some pity for me still remains, considering my recent tone, because I'm honestly not sure where we should start. I suppose we should just ask the receptionist to point us to somebody who can answer our questions.
And it looks like the receptionist is a hybrid. Know anything about TMI?
Honestly, you do have your own mesh access, yes? I'm quite certain you can handle all the casual searches you might feel like making. We hardly have time for me to blather out every bit of exposition you desire when you could just go look it up on your own.
Someone broke my computer? Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. You just do it so good job of making it concise.
Fair enough. If you think it will save time, I can continue to rattle off these facts when you ask for them. I just ask that you keep your queries to a minimum. We don't have a whole lot of time. Let me pull up the information you requested.
Can you tell me about TMI?
TMI Entertainment is a relatively popular celebrity and gossip news conglomerate. They own OK Today.
Yeah, so, yeah, I knew that's where I heard it from. I'm sure that was in the ad in the first, back in the first session, before we met touring.
They did a good job transitioning from the traditional media models of television and news to the net-based model prevalent now, pioneered by their digital newspaper, OK Today's The Scanline. Some might call their programs rags, but opinion on the mesh seems more favorable than not. They stick to mostly good-natured prying and lean away from the seedier nastiness that paparazzi can get up to. As such, they have a positive relationship with many celebrities and regularly get exclusive scoops that keep their ratings up, despite their refusal to peddle in the darker side of the celebrity news circuit.
What do you know about Charlie Nova?
Charlie Nova is TMI Entertainment's most popular TV personality. He's gotten consistently high ratings for almost a decade and isn't afraid to tell you about it. The chatter on the mesh paints him as a bit arrogant, but in that loud, backslapping kind of way that a media star can get away with. He's best known for hosting Star in the Stratosphere. It's one of those talent-seeking reality programs.
Oh dear.
Apparently, when TMI can't organically discover enough celebrities, they just manufacture them.
Oh dear.
Oh, and also, according to this blog, Charlie's hair is flawless.
Of course it is. Got it. You look really timid. Did I treat you okay?
Welcome to TMI Entertainment Incorporated. Do you have an appointment?
We need to speak with Charlie Nova.
I really can't let you in without an appointment. I can maybe pencil you in for next Wednesday?
We do not have until next Wednesday.
We don't have time for this. People's lives are on the line here, and all you care about is an appointment?
Calm down, Turing. She doesn't know. Calm down, Turing.
Oh, look, if it's that important, I can buzz you through to sympathy.
Who?
But she isn't going to be very happy about being bothered off schedule, so don't get your hopes up.
Oh boy.
And, try not to make her too mad. I'll be the one dealing with the fallout.
Oh dear.
Right. Of course. I apologize. We will be as tactful as possible, I assure you.
Okay, she's over on the other side of the room. Head straight there, because she doesn't like it when people bother the talent.
Someone's glasses. I doubt it's you. I'm show host. I'm show host. And I'm guessing your sympathy?
Hey, you! Over here, now. What are you doing bothering my people? I thought I told Nina to cancel all my appointments for the day. I swear that girl couldn't find her ears if I taped them over her eyes. At least she makes a decent cup of coffee.
Are you sympathy? Nina said we should speak to you.
Yes, I am. And if you don't mind, I keep the show running here, so I'll be brief.
Oh, color me embarrassed.
What are you doing in my building?
We've been given a lead on a story that involves one of your personalities, Charlie Nova. Someone has been manipulating his articles on the meshnet and turning them into scathing attacks against the human revolution. We're trying to track the culprit, and we need to talk to Mr. Nova to hunt down further leads.
You let your ROM do all the talking for you? Must be one of those new interrogation modules all the fresh meat rave about. Of course I know someone's been modifying Charlie's articles. I'm tracking them down myself. What I want to know is why I should help you snatch the scoop out from underneath me. Super hacker twists meshnet news for personal political vendetta? The clicks basically farm themselves.
Oh dear. We're willing to trade info.
Not interested. I already have a pretty decent idea of where to look next. And if that doesn't pan out, I have our primary server cluster chewing through mesh posts looking for inconsistencies. I'll figure this one out on my own, without some newbie mucking things up.
I'm willing to break it under TMI's banner.
I'm not hiring, kid. I admire your spirit, but I've got people putting in lots of hours on this one. You're not getting the credit because you think you have a hot lead. Plus, if you really did, you wouldn't be here begging for my scraps.
Hey, fine, we'll tell you about Zin, jeez.
Zin? Augmented Eye's Zin? What does Zin have to do with this?
About that.
She's the one who gave us the lead to begin with. Then, someone threw her out of her office window. We figured Mr. Nova might be next, and we wanted to get to him first.
Holy shit. Fine, I'll let you talk to Charlie. If someone is trying to kill people over this, I'd rather it be out and done with as fast as possible.
Yeah, fair.
I mean, shit. We're an entertainment scene. Nobody should die for that. But hey, watch yourself with Charlie. He's a pompous clown, but he's my pompous clown.
Fair.
Keep it civil, or I'll throw your ass out and figure this out on my own. Now get on it. I need to make some calls.
So do I talk to the receptionist to get to Charlie?
Oh, go right on through.
Apparently not.
Hey there! I'm Sky. Nice to meet you. This is just my side job. For my main gig, I run a gym. Sky High Gym, right by the campus off the M.
Lovely. I take it you're Charlie? I don't remember what he looks like. We're going to talk to Charlie and then we'll stop the stream.
Fantastic! How fantastic! I just love your ROM. Not quite as stunning as mine, but still pretty grand. Very sleek, very clean. Bravo. Oh, Sympathy is doing that thing where she waves at me to hurry things up. Right down to brass tacks then, I suppose. Wait! I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Charlie Nova, host of Tonight in the Stars and Star in the Stratosphere. But you already knew that, I'm sure. What can I do for you,
Why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Oh, you flatter me. Yes, you do.
Oh dear.
I can't imagine you've come all this way just to get my story, have you? After all, I've already published my very own splendid 100% original autobiography, Like a Nova.
Oh yeah.
But I suppose I can give you a quick rundown, even if Sympathy is giving me the stink eye.
Why do I have a feeling this is going to be anything but quick?
I grew up here on the mean streets of Neo-SF, but my jocular nature and striking countenance got me scouted for a few small product advertisements. And the rest is not so ancient history. Now I'm the host of the largest celebrity news show on the Mesh, and I couldn't be happier. It's all thanks to my swarms of fans, though. They're the ones who count.
Oh boy. Oh, what do you know? It looked quick. Can you tell me about TMI?
Yes, any additional information on your station would be greatly appreciated.
Well, it's the best damn network on the planet, I can tell you that. We put out top-notch news and entertainment, but with real heart that our competitors just can't match. But if you really want to know about TMI, you need to know about Sympathy. It's her pride and joy, after all. Sure, she can be a little acerbic, and sure, she calls me a poofy-haired oaf all the time, but you can really tell she cares, you know? Deep down. I'm not sure if that throat-cutting gesture she's making is a signal to move to another topic or a threat against my physical well-being.
The fact that you don't exactly know is kind of worrying.
So, let's move on. What next?
Have you heard that your stories are getting altered once they're posted to the Mesh?
Oh, it may have come up in the last lunch meeting we had, but Sympathy assured me that it was some kind of technical glitch, and our support people were on top of it.
Interesting.
They're top-notch, the absolute best money can buy. so I don't think there's anything more to say on the subject.
You heard the weather piece was supposed to getting older too.
That's very upsetting. I hope you've passed along that information to Sympathy. I'm certain our tech people will be able to find the culprit in short order once they know enough about it. I really don't know what I have to do with it, though.
I'm sure you're better informed than that, right? You're at the top of this heap, yeah?
It's Charlie. And of course, I'm the leading man around here. Who has said otherwise? I'm not quite certain what you think it is that I don't know, but I assure you that I know what it is. You won't be able to trip me up that easily.
Can you access your sorry? What else can they get on you?
Nothing. The tech guys already did an audit on my online presence, and there's no evidence of any attempts of unauthorized access to any of my accounts. That's why they're having a hard time pinning down this creep. He isn't actually changing the posts from inside my account at all. So there you go. We're already on top of it. Nothing to worry about at all.
All right, that's enough. Charlie has a show to get ready for. He's told you everything he's going to. So get the hell out of here. If you find anything more interesting than what you've got, come back and see me again. Directly.
Remember, I'm the victim in all this.
Wow, just shoved us out.
Oh man, she looks really cheesed off now. Do you know how snippy she can get?
I've got an idea.
I better get her coffee ready. Maybe that'll calm her down.
We're very sorry if we made your day more difficult. Perhaps I could take the coffee over to Sympathy and we could try to smooth her rumpled feathers.
Yeah, okay, sure. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? You make her even madder? Oh no. On second thought.
It'll only take a minute.
All right, but she takes it with plenty of milk.
Okay, so you just volunteered to get Sympathy her coffee. But we're a bit over time right now, so it's time to call it. Coffee for... Yeah, coffee for Sim. That'll do it for that'll do it for our stream this time. I hope you all enjoyed it. I'm glad that it was better than the train wreck of the stream last time. And I hope to see everyone again for the next one. And thank you all for watching. See you all for the next stream. This is Metis Balaska signing out.